welcome back to
The Zak
and Buzz
Review! And it's another movie review!
Oh yes!
Oh yes. And this one,
Go on.
you know, I really liked it.
I had no idea going in
I agree.
what I thought it was.
I made sure that I didn't look to find out anything about this movie apart from seeing the trailer.
What is it?
Across the board, it's been the series of films
Oh, I didn't know
has
it
been
was.
recommended by several people, and finally, I'm going in watching the third one, which some people may think is completely crazy,
Your plan is insane!
but it was pretty kind of self-sustaining, and I didn't have to have seen the other ones.
Until we got to the foyer and you told me it was the third out of the series, I
Yes.
didn't even know that.
So, the film is Maxxine.
Maxine Miller, isn't it?
Maxxine Minx.
Minx, not Miller, Minx. Maxine
Lots of
Minx.
X's.
Lots of X's. There's lots of X's in this. She's obviously a porn star, adult movie star, and she wants to break into
The film industry.
more, you know, would you say the
Hollywood.
More, Hollywood, but the more
Mainstream.
mainstream, yes. But even so, it's still not mainstream because she's getting a break in horror movies.
Psycho!
At a
Horror
time,
movies are amazing.
Was this based in 1982? Was it, or 1984? 82.
The 80s.
Yeah. I've got to say, being that the 80s was one of my decades, I love the banging soundtrack on it.
Whole way through, the
Right
soundtrack.
from the start, soundtrack is really good
Yes.
all the way through. You could easily just buy the CD of this, you know.
So, it just interesting things that I noticed was, I find it quite hard to kind of attach this film to any specific genre. It's kind of like a horror thriller.
Yeah, it's a horror thriller.
But the main character isn't your straight cut
I'm
good guy.
yeah,
There's a history.
yeah, I might be doing a bit of a disservice here, which I don't mean to.
Yeah.
But it kind of slotted in for me with when you see a movie like which one was the Freddy Krueger movies where they were making a Freddy Krueger movie
Freddy Krueger?
and it was,
Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
that's right. So it's kind of like a layered thing. You're watching a movie about somebody who wants to be in a movie, and then you're seeing like bits of movies being made and such like, you know.
That's what you mean.
But it was a really good and, in my opinion, very, even though it was based in the early 80s,
Yeah.
a really accurate representation of the movie industry. Because we work in the movie
It is
industry.
a ruthless regime.
And there was a lovely quote where it says, "It's a beast that will literally chew you up, and if it doesn't like you, it will spit you out, and if it doesn't like the taste of you, you'll never work in it again."
Yeah, if you gotta stay focused, because otherwise,
you're
out.
You're out, and you know, and that's the thing. You know, being that we've worked in the movies for many years, and I've had those days where I've been on set on a production, and I've had my own trailer, and people are coming there.
speak for yourself.
Yeah, well, you've had 5-star hotels and all sorts.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Anyway,
I got a pool.
he got his own pool, and people will come up and say, and frankly, I feel a bit uncomfortable when they're saying, "Oh, you know, sir, Mister this and Mister that," and
Yeah, you don't want to kind of go beyond yourself.
they're treating you like what they like to call the main talent.
the talent.
And I actually in the past have felt a bit uncomfortable, and I
It's
remember
odd.
I remember
Because it's not like you get told this. You just kind of get there and then it's
there
like
you find that you have been sort of raised up the ziggurat, so to speak, and suddenly everybody is running around treating you like royalty. And there was one shoot I was on, and it made me feel so uncomfortable because I'm just a down-to-earth guy. When it comes to being a performer, we're both equity performers. I like to be just like with everybody.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like when they were coming to my trailer, bringing me a menu and asking me to choose my lunch menu, and they would bring it to me when I'm used to going to the crew tent or whatever.
Please, sir, I want some more.
I took my meal out of my trailer and went and sat on the crew bus with the crew because I felt so kind of odd. But anyway, this is great that they've done this in the movie, giving you that realistic feel of the movie industry.
It has definitely kind of spiked my interest to go and watch X, which is the first film, and obviously Pearl, which is the prequel.
Well, you say obviously, I have no idea.
Think there's any connection?
Well, it is, I'm telling you.
Okay, he's telling
Pearl
me.
is the second film, but it's the prequel to the first film.
Yep.
And obviously Maxxine's the third film.
Yes.
What I've got to say, overall, this was very, very well written.
Well written and well filmed.
Well performed.
On every single
round.
level. I just just even having the text that they'd used, the font they'd used, was
style
was totally 80s. They got
really,
the shoulder
really
pads
good.
And everything right, the hairdos right, the feel. The video store was just like walking into a video store back in the 80s.
That poor guy.
Apart from the guy in the video store had a dirty, great big MacGuffin. It was a bit of a MacGuffin. He had this big Rambo knife.
Yeah.
And you think, yeah, that's going to come up again.
And it did.
And it did. And I did a great thing. It had 1980s proper physical effects.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, they
very
they have
commendable
filmed a 1980s style movie, but not gone down the route of 21st century CGI effects.
And it wasn't the case of we're gonna cut away from it. You see everything.
Oh yes, yeah, you see everything.
You see the impact. You see the injuries.
Especially the stamp on the meat and potatoes.
Ouch.
I think everyone, everywhere felt that.
Everybody suddenly went, ooh, no.
Ow.
Ouch. But, now you mention it being the third of the series,
Yes.
Yeah? Well, that's the thing. Again, this is a movie that holds itself as an individual movie. It had some flashbacks and some things in it, which I was kind of assuming would be resolved by the end of the movie, or explained.
Yeah.
And they weren't explained, but by the time you get to the end of the movie, you realise that these are obviously, if you'd seen the other movies, I'm assuming they're flashbacks to the other movies. But it wasn't so much so that it
was reliant
that it became disjointed, and you thought, what's going on here? Because I don't understand what this flashback's about. So the movie stands out as an individual movie, and you can watch it like that.
Yeah.
And I am now really keen on seeing the other two.
Exactly. Yeah. It's very. Let's talk about some of the other performances. You had Kevin Bacon in there.
Run, Val, run!
No, yeah, Kevin.
He was great.
I didn't know Kevin Bacon was even in this movie.
I know.
And then I go in the cinema and I get an extra bonus because, lo and behold, there's Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
And he's doing a brilliant performance.
As this private detective.
And he did a great
working
accent.
on behalf of the killer who's pretending to be a different killer.
Yeah, it's like, it's like, and I just...
and then you had, obviously, the, I can't remember his name, it's like Esposito or something, the agency guy from who's obviously from The Boys.
Yeah, he's the guy who's...
And the Mandalorian.
Who's the original head of
Vought.
Yeah.
And who's in prison, and then out of prison, and back in prison in the Boys. And you can...
And Grand Moff Gideon in
but the acting,
Mandalorian.
but you can see the acting skill because in The Boys he is so almost robotic, isn't he?
Yeah.
And
calculated.
Totally like feelingless. But in this one, totally. The wig was a bit much, I think.
Oh come on!
But it was a very 80s wig, so I'm assuming it was meant to be like.
He was very good in his role in this.
Yeah, very good. I just loved it, and the main character, Maxxine. Do you remember the
Mia Goth?
Yeah, she just nailed it. You know, she had such power.
I'm gonna be a movie star.
Yes, Maxxine.
Mix.
And she really. I mean, if you're gonna want one of these moaning minis who say you don't get strong female leads, there's been hundreds of them over the years. She is really good. She is, and I want to find the backstory of this character.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
that was the great thing about this movie.
They referenced the Texas porn star massacre, didn't they?
Yeah.
So that must be a reference to one of the previous ones.
Exactly.
And she did mention about when she was taking that guy out in the alleyway. She said, the last times, one of my friends sort of did the dirty on me, I crushed her effing hand.
Hey, I thought it was head.
I thought she said hand.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I've watched the movies.
Yeah, so it must be another reference. So I really looked at it. I was on the edge of my seat all the way through it. It had moments when I actually physically kind of like laughed, because
it had it all. It had it all. And to be honest, of the most recent cinema experiences I've had, this has kind of been one of those standout ones for me. Since probably Furiosa, I would say.
Yeah. What did you compare it to? You compared it to a different movie. You said what was the one we saw previously?
Quiet Place.
Yeah, and then you said this one you felt.
Yeah, I think for me personally,
we
I
really
think
liked
it was
The Quiet Place,
but it was better than
this
The Quiet
one
Place.
was better.
Yeah.
It was outstanding on that.
Just
I love the
writing wise, physical effects, the style, the performances, the whole kit and caboodle. This was really good.
It just felt like I was watching a 1980s movie.
Exactly.
With all the best elements of a 1980s movie. Really good. So yeah, guys, that's it. If you want to go and really have some fun, go and watch Maxxine.
Yes, definitely recommended. Thank you for all those people that have recommended it to us in the past.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
And I'm so glad that it actually stuck the landing and kind of fulfilled my expectations and probably exceeded them.
And the lead, she seems to be quite a young actress. I don't know how old she is. Obviously, if it's the same actress you're telling me that's been in the previous two, she looks really young.
I looked it up. She's been in a few things,
which
but
means that
these are kind of the main movies.
She's got all the potential for doing another one.
Exactly. And that'll be really exciting.
I want to see where this goes because
Quadrilogy.
she's obviously got a past. And by the end of the movie, I'm not going to spoil it. By the end of the movie, she covers that up pretty well, doesn't she? But she doesn't hold any. She doesn't pull any punches.
No.
And I think that's what I like about her. She says to her friend she can look after herself, and her friend says, says every dead girl in New York or something, and she can. Yeah. But it's brilliant. Anyway, there you go.
Out of 10.
Out of 10. I'm actually going to give this for the style, for the setting, for everything. I'm going to watch this again, and I'm going to enjoy it every time I watch it. I'm going to give it a 10.
Outstanding.
I'm going to give it a 10 because
I am going to agree with you.
I'm going to give it a 10.
I really enjoy it. Again, for me, it's a case of I'm not quite sure how to truly classify this as a movie by a genre.
Yeah, it wasn't
horror mystery thriller.
It wasn't horror, but it had gore.
Yeah.
It didn't actually have a lot of sex in it, to be honest, even though it said
there was a bit
sexual references.
Sexualized violence,
but it wasn't anything like totally explicit. In fact, I think it had less boobs in it than some some
80s movies.
Yeah, I mean, you get more full frontals in things like
Game of Thrones,
Hot D and stuff like that.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Go watch it.
What did you score it?
10.
So
go watch it.
That's 2 10s.
Go watch Maxxine.
Go and do it.
Or Maxxine.
You're not going to be disappointed on that one.
Yeah. Okay. Certainly 100%.
There you go.
If you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. Comment below any suggestions of further reviews you would like to see.
Catch you in the next one.